Hello, and thank you for joining this video. In this video we are going to discuss the test mission TAD220, and that is about an air-to-ground task dispatching process for human players, where the dispatcher is creating tasks using a detection object that is detecting unit types and grouping them per type. And also I'm documenting the scoring additions that can be created when these human players are hitting targets or are achieving task success. So let me get to the mission and explain you what this is about. Alright, so here we are in the test mission. The test mission is TAD220, which you can find in the test missions directory of the Moose Framework pack. You see here a number of blue targets around a couple of red units here. So the idea is that the FAC reconnaissance vehicle is detecting these targets which are peripheral to that unit. I'm going to join this tank, which has the name Attack Tank. I'm going to join this using a CA module, and I will get reports from the detection here, and I can engage then, on a task that will be planned by the headquarters, and I can then join that task. And the difference here will be that the units that are peripheral to the red ones will be grouped per type. So that means that, for example, a Trojan Spirit Predator, right? They will find and identify 3 units of that type. And you can see, and that's really important, that the Predators are dispersed over the battlefield at different locations. And the consequence of that will be that when you get the report, it doesn't make sense now to have a longitude, latitude, or a bearing kind of coordinate hint within the report. This will not be given. But what you will get is, I will have found 3 Trojan Spirits have been detected, and they have a certain threat level, and then you can engage on that specific task. And what it will do is, when you are executing the task, it will route you to each target within the battlefield one by one. So once you destroy this, it will start routing to this one. Once you destroy that, it will start routing to this one. So let me demonstrate this here. Also note, before I do that I've resolved this little error that I had that I couldn't demonstrate in the previous one, and that is that once you destroy a target, extra points will be added. Let me show you the script here on how this script looks like. I'm going very quickly over it. So what you see is you have the headquarters, which is a command center declared. And by the way, the headquarters is on the battlefield here, right? Very far from the battlefield. They're like coordinating. And most of the time what I do is I do a mobile command post as a type of unit, right? Which is, I think in reality, this kind of unit would be coordinating this kind of attacks as well. And then when you go further into the mission, we get the scoring here, so the scoring will be accounted for. I'm attaching the scoring on the mission, and this becomes important here. I have the FAC sets here, so everything that starts with FAC that is red will be in this set of groups. Then I'm doing here the most important part of the demonstration, that is, I'm using the detection underscore types capability of the Moose Framework to detect targets within the battlefield and group those detected units per type. So what you will see is you get a list of types, right? And you can then select the task depending on the type. The rest is the same as the previous video, so I have a set of Red Coalition Attack, which are my attack units, which is going to be the helicopter and the attack tank. Then I'm establishing the task dispatcher, and the name is wrong here. Boy Sven. What did I do? No, not fac areas here. It should be fac types, right? Fac. What am I saying here? No, detection types, something like that. Yeah, doesn't matter. Okay. And then what I'm doing here is I'm putting this in a global variable because I want this to be persistent within the mission. And then I can tailor. So the task dispatcher is a finite state machine. I will explain you further once we get into more details on this. I will show you a process how this thing is working internally. But just know that once a player joins a task, an assign event will be fired in this object that can be handled by defining a function like this, and this is just a normal finite state machine handling method that has been defined and declared, and you will find it repeated overall in the Moose framework. And here I am going to use the task variable that I'm getting as a parameter, and I'm using these three kind of functions here. The first function is once I destroy a unit, I will send this message, and I'm giving an extra of 50 points. So if I'm destroying a unit which is in scope of the task, I'm adding 50 points extra to that player. If I score on success, meaning all of the targets have been destroyed, right, of that task, then I will send a message, the task has been successfully completed, and I give 200 points. And the last one is penalty on failed, meaning if I destroy myself, if I crash, then I will get a penalty, and I will deduct 100 points from the that should actually be positive sign, but it will be deducted. Okay. That's it basically. So let me get into the demonstration here, and you can see this in action. Right, so here I am, I'm executing this mission. I'm going to put on the tracing system just for me to be able to follow in the background what's going on. And I'm going to join the game master, right? So this is my briefing. By the way, I'm trying to be, let's say, consistent and put a briefing in each test mission so you can see what this thing is doing and what you need to do in terms of test cases. You know, what you need to test and what would be the results of that mission. Okay, so let's fly. So now the detection is starting, as you can see. This RECCE is now detecting the targets around the these little units here, and I'm going to join the attack tank here, which is a BMP3. Alt J. Here we are. We're in the tank, and now here I can watch around, and you see all these targets here being deployed at random positions, right? And I'm just waiting for the detection results. This is my reconnaissance vehicle here, and this is important now. So what you see here now, while being in the tank, I don't know why that is, but I just am not able to get my pointer here. Doesn't matter. So what you see here is that the group headquarters is now reporting a task list. You get seed tasks. Why? Because there's a Hawk tracking radar unit, and that would typically be used for a seed attack. And then you have close air support tasks. So what you see now is, because you have the units grouped per type, it doesn't make sense to actually start giving longitude, latitude coordinates here, because the types can be spread out over the battlefield in different locations. So I'm just giving the threat level here. You get the threat level, for example, for a launcher it would be 0, for a chaparral, which is, you know, like an infrared, would be higher. For a Hawk, tracking radar would even be more higher. You know, the tracking radar itself doesn't fire, but the threat level is high enough to, you know, it's dangerous for the airplanes, because if you don't cancel that one, then the Hawk will keep on working. So linebacker, for example, is there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for the Trojan Spirit ones, which is CAS 6, and I'm going to engage on CAS 6. And remember, the Trojan spirits are spread out over the battlefields. When I'm joining this unit, I'll have to route towards these different locations here. Let me get back into the tank, and what am I doing? Like this, and then I'm going to join the number 6, which is F8. Right? Cool. So now I'm getting the instructions, right? So it says you're assigned to CAS 6. It has been assigned to your group. So what does that mean is that the other players, which might form part of your group, will get the message that you as a player have joined that task as well. And then your group with assigned CAS task 3 has 3 of Predator Trojan Spirits targets left to be destroyed. This is the scope of your attack. And it says route to bearing 152 for 0.65 kilometers, which is what we're gonna do. So then, 152, let me go quickly here. Well, it's maybe not the best direction that I should have taken, but fine, I'm going to do this by keyboard. It's going to be the fastest way. Okay, cool. So 152, what's there? Here we are. What's that? Yeah, this is this little thing there. So let me fire that. Right, it's burning. So let's wait until it's destroyed. There we are. And now, because it's destroyed, look at the messages that are appearing here. So it says, I destroyed the enemy vehicle 1 time. I get 1 point because a Trojan spirit is very low danger, right? It is no threat. So the points are low, but I hit a target that is part of the scope. So I hit a target and it says I have 2 targets left of 2 Predator Trojan spirits. And I get a 50 extra task score, right? Remember, when I was here, I said when I destroy a unit that's part of my scope of the task, I give him 50 points extra. And that's what you see there. Okay, so let's continue the mission. Now, important is when this was destroyed, remember the routing, it says it's at 152 bearing. So let's have a look now when the next route help comes up, what it is saying. There you go, and it says 078 now, because the first one has been successfully destroyed. And now I just can go to the next one. It's a bit of a 078. Right, so that will be here. So let me, get these things here killed. Yeah, I speed it up a bit. I mean, imagine yourself being in an airplane and the command center is, guiding you towards where you need to fly. I think it would be really nice to experience this when you're running a mission from an airplane, which I will demonstrate in a point in time. Okay, so then 270 is the last one. There we are, it's very close. That's convenient for shooting. So let me quickly do this. Yeah, it's destroyed. Now this is important. Look at the text. So now I got 3 times 50 points extra, and I get a 200 points extra because I finished the scope of these 3 targets successfully. So 200 points granted extra. Let's continue the mission. What does it say further? Well, the thing is now, because the mission had been completed, because the task has been completed, not the mission, the task, my assigned status goes back into idle status. I can accept another task, and as a result you will get those reports coming up again. where you can select another task. Also observe that the task for the Trojan spirits is not reported anymore because those tasks have been destroyed already. So what you see is a very, very dynamic system here. Right, so I hope you found this interesting, this system. It's not completely debugged yet. Just know that I've been working very hard on this. And I think very soon you will see some missions coming out with this kind of system embedded on some of the servers that you can just join and fly. Okay, so thank you for watching, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.